reliable and under warranty, but it can't be fixed by a roadside mechanic. Roadside mechanics can, in the future, fix a few things, like let's say tire puncture, or maybe vehicle cleaning, or maybe seat covers, right? But the detailed stuff like the petrol engine alternative, the equivalent here would be engine work or carburetor or fuel filter or fixing throttle cables, adjusting those settings. Those are going away as an opportunity, which is, and it's not that those problems can't be fixed. I'm saying those problems don't exist in electric vehicle, right? So the entire business model of roadside mechanics itself is going to see a massive change with electric vehicles and smart vehicles coming in. So it's a warranty. So the product has 2 warranties. The entire product itself has a 3 years unlimited, 3 years, 30,000 kilometers warranty. However, on the battery alone, we are going out of our way and we have announced a 3 years unlimited kilometers warranty. What we have seen in our testing, up to 50,000 kilometers, the battery packs are completely fine. There's barely 15-20% loss of energy. Otherwise, they're completely fine. And 50,000 kilometers is for most average customers between 6 to 8 years of usage. Right? So that's what we have seen in our on-road testing, which is why we are announcing an unlimited kilometers warranty on the battery pack. Realistically, you will not need to replace a battery pack for at least 6 years.
So why are you looking at battery swapping?
Why we don't do battery swapping?
Yeah.
So it adds a lot of cost. That's the problem of battery swapping for a consumer. For a delivery vehicle or for a bike taxi, battery swap has a role to play because it cuts down on that 1 hour of charging required if you do more than 70 kilometers a day, right? But for an average customer, he's not going to do more than 70 kilometers of driving distance in a day. You're not going to buy an electric vehicle unless you have a charging point at home. If you have a charging point at home, you will just charge every day at home, in which case you don't need a swapping on a daily basis. Then swapping is more of an emergency requirement. And the cost of setting up that infrastructure is about almost 50 times higher than setting up charging infrastructure. So it adds a lot of cost. In most business models, we'll have to charge you 1,000 rupees extra per month for the convenience of a swap. Why not removable batteries that you can just carry up to your house? Well, here is some numbers will help. A vehicle like this will have a battery which weighs 18 kilograms. I don't think you want to, even if you break this down to 2 batteries, even then I don't think you want to carry 9 kgs worth of battery every day to your house. So we experimented with it, but we realized that most people don't actually use that. And if you make it removable, it adds a lot of cost on the vehicle structure because now you will need gold-plated connections and those connections will wear out much faster. You will have waterproofing problems, environmental issues. You will not connect them well and then you will drive them on the road and something will break. So reliability kicks in.
What about the indigenous component?
So I'll just take this question. Can we get a mic there?
Can we move some mics on this side?
You spoke about the registration cost in Tamil Nadu, which is slightly higher than Bangalore.
Road tax.
Road tax.
It's 4%.
4%.
As opposed to 0% Karnataka.
What about, is it common common across the country or it varies differently?
No, I think 5 states have 0 road tax, and there is a proposal from the government to, because it's a state subject, not a central subject. So the central government only sort of make a recommendation and they recommend that it be 0 everywhere. The TN EV policy is working on that. Chances, I think, are hunch that over a period of time, I think at least get to go to 0.
So these states have, the electric policies are 0%, right? Most of the states. The 0% states have electric vehicle policy, right?
So 5 states are 0.
Hi, Tarun.
Indigenous component content.
Yes.
Indigenous component content in the vehicle.
So today, with the exception of the motor and the cells that go inside the battery pack, almost everything else is indigenized. And in the next 12 months, even the motor will be indigenized. So by middle of next year, the only components being imported for the product will be the lithium-ion cells that go inside our battery pack. So about 75% indigenization should be achieved in the next 12 months. Right now, we are at about 55% or so.
Hi, Tarun.
Yes.
Pradeep this side from Financial Express. So in your presentation, you haven't mentioned about the 340 anywhere, but I don't think the price is mentioned in the release. So is it like currently temporarily out of production or like?
So actually 340 hasn't entered production yet,
Okay.
Which is why we are not talking too much about it. And I'll give you the honest answer. we are like honestly completely booked out in our capacity, and 98% of the orders that we are getting are for ATHER 450. There are very few orders for ATHER 340, and the handful of people who do order ATHER 340 because it's cheaper, by the time they finish their test ride, they see more reviews, they come to the experience center 2-3 times, they decide that they want to buy the ATHER 450. So at the time of final payment, they upgrade themselves into ATHER 450.
So are the pre-orders open for the 340 as well?
Pre-orders are going to be open.
Okay.
But production hasn't started yet, it will start a little later.
And when are the deliveries expected? If suppose I book a 340?
Certainly, it's not going to be this year, certainly part of next year.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, excuse me.
Just one.
Just
Let's just keep 2 mics.
Yeah, hi. Sindhu here from the Times. So I'm just wondering if you can give me an idea of how much proportion of your current sales in Bangalore are through the lease versus the outright purchase. Give an idea on, and how it is early signals pointing in Chennai for lease.
So, if I look at 3 components, so there is upfront, there is lease, and there is loan. Right? About 70%, 60 or 70% actually upfront payments. Of the balance is equally split between loan and lease.
That's in Bangalore, right?
That's a Bangalore.
Okay.
We think Chennai numbers will be. We think Chennai numbers will be a little higher for both lease and EMI. 2 reasons. With the new tax extension announced on the loan, I think loan numbers are going to suddenly massively rise up. If my hunch is that upfront ownership, upfront purchase will become a smaller, a complete payment will become a much smaller component, and lease. Actually, Chennai is the real place where we are launching lease, to be honest, because in Bangalore, while we opened up lease, we did a very quiet opening. We didn't do a lot of song and dance about it, we didn't really announce it a lot. We just did a very quiet opening because we were also learning, we were also experimenting. So most customers in Bangalore, by the time they came to the final payments, may have heard of lease. It wasn't pushed from our end. In Chennai, right from our first presentation to the test ride customers on the weekend, we've been talking a lot about lease. And we can now see it in the audience that there is a lot of excitement around lease going on. So our hunch is that lease and loan will be a much bigger bucket.
I think the other thing to also consider is that the first wave of customers, they are super enthusiasts. Right? They will buy whatever price you have, whichever mechanism you have. It's only when you get to the second and third wave, where a little more sort of mass market sort of comes in, where it starts reflecting a more traditional mindset of the market. Right, where the proportion of upfront payment actually is quite low. If you look at the typical other scooter, it's very, most people take on EMI, most people take on EMI actually.
Here.
This question back.
No, here. We manage all of it.
See, are you planning to have manufacturing in Chennai?
See, we are, the plant that we have in Bangalore is going to run out of capacity by sometime early next year. So we're looking at a few very creative ways to add to that capacity. At this point, we are engaged in conversations with a few state governments, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. Depending on where we finally close the deal, it could come to close to Chennai.
You mentioned about the imported component here being basically the battery, right?
Cells, not batteries.
Cells. So what's it that can make it more affordable?
More volumes. As the volumes pick up, our overall cost structure should improve by about 15 to 20%. Secondly, as our product stabilizes, we can cut down on some of the engineering costs. So today, the product is in some places honestly over-designed because this is the first platform, and we want to make sure that it's extremely fail-safe. But as we get more experience, we can cut down on some of those redundancies. Long term, we believe a product like this can go as low as 1 lakh rupees, but that's long term.
And you mentioned about IPs. Where are the critical IPs where you really have a moat?
There are 3-4 buckets. The first big bucket is the battery and battery management systems. And there we have some significant moats because our understanding right from the lithium-ion cell all the way to pack design, cooling and pack manufacturing. We have a lot of IP in pack manufacturing itself, not just design. That is a big bucket. A second biggest bucket is the software. So a lot of the features that we have interact with the hardware in a very integrated manner and enable some very unique features to the end customer. So a second big bucket is our software. Third is charging, including public charging, followed by the vehicle design itself, the frame and chassis.
Hero is one of your investors.
Yes.
I was wondering whether you are in sort of discussions with some of the traditional vehicle manufacturers,
Regarding?
the IC engine
Regarding?
manufacturers,
Regarding what?
the vehicle itself. Are they showing interest in working along with you for a new product development?
We've got massive demand. I think at this point we should be figuring out how do we scale up our own capacities instead of asking others to free up capacities.
One final question, Tarun. Are you having any thinking on the end of life cycle disposal of them?
Of the vehicle
Because
battery?
there will be a lot of e-waste in this.
Right. So, I'm a very strong believer that economics is, if you have strong economical incentives, you can drive really strong recycling. For example, lead acid batteries are bad in many ways, but given the fact that lead acid batteries have lead in them, which has an economical value, the recycling content of lead acid batteries in India is like something like 99-100%, right? Similarly, for something like this, where there's a lot of electronics, those electronic components have a fundamental strong residual value. So that e-waste management is already becoming a strong industry in India with the mobile and the tablet industries. On the battery side, I think it will take some more volume, but we're going to see players who will emerge, who can take discarded lithium-ion cells and strip them down for expensive materials like nickel, cobalt, aluminium that are embedded inside it. So I think we'll see a pretty strong recycling. Today we don't have a formal partnership which can handle it at scale. But let's give it another 2 years. As some products might start coming back, I think we'll have a good enough partnership.